All right, good. Looks like we're filled up here in the attendees section. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Jason Ostrander. I am the Vice President for Marketing and Operations at Sauers Snow and Ice Management, located in Warminster, Pennsylvania. You're going to hear from a couple of the folks that I get the pleasure of working with every day. But briefly, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule and coming and joining us. Our goal is to really just kind of have like a hot topic or a current trend topic to talk through, and then talk just briefly a little bit about what it's like to partner with Sauers during the winter season. Again, Q&A is there. Feel free to put some questions, and then hopefully we'll be finishing this up right around 12:45. Backdrop for Sauers. At Sauers, our teams, they work year-round, customizing snow response plans, for businesses, our clients, so that we can get guys and gals like you on those properties servicing, being able to engage in what you love to do, which is to plow snow and move snow. Sauers is, by the way, in case you've never met us before, Philadelphia region's premier snow and ice management company. We're 100% snow focused, 365, as you'll hear Jamie say later on. And we're actually one of only a handful of ISO SN 9000 certified companies in North America, which is a fancy way to say we hold ourselves to a pretty high standard. And we just recently were audited on those standards and expectations and passed with flying colors. Our core focus as a company is to take the worry out of your winter. Whether you're a client that wants your property to be serviced, or whether you're a contractor out there that's looking to add an additional source of revenue for your already growing company, we want to help take the worry out of winter. And honestly, two people that really take the worry out of my winter are with us here this morning or this afternoon, and that is our illustrious panelists, Jamie Zanzano and Joe Sauers. Joe Sauers, we're going to start with you this afternoon. Joe is not only a vice president here at Sauers Snow and Ice, but he is also a co-founder. So Joe, I'm going to start by actually asking you to explain a little bit about what your day-to-day looks like here at Sauers right now.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jason. As you said, I'm the Vice President of Operations, so I help in a number of ways, reviewing contracts, reviewing legal documents, working with service providers to help Jamie get them on the best sites that are fit for them, assisting them with insurance. So a wide array of operational stuff is what I do on a day-to-day basis.
I'll speak for Jamie and say you're probably selling yourself a little short. You do a ton for the company. I think you've worn every hat that's possible in the company, sales, operations at some point. And honestly, that's why we're here for this discussion today, is we thought it would be a really interesting topic for those that might be out there that have a company that doesn't currently include snow business revenue, or actually doesn't have a model for that. I can't think of anybody better to interview than, let's see, this guy right here. Do you recognize this guy here, Joe?
Yeah, you're embarrassing me there, Jason. I was maybe about 14, 15 years old or so.
You guys started this company really young, right? I mean, many people might not know. This is not something that you jumped into a couple of years ago. This is Sauers at its earliest beginnings, right?
Yeah, literally started from the ground up with one push mower.
It's amazing. Joe, you were a little bit younger at this point. We're doing a little bit of a walk down memory lane here. But I mean, honestly, even at a young age with the company, you guys felt like it was important to add snow to the overall business. You didn't want to be just kind of pegged in as just a one-hit wonder kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, once we started having success with lawn mowing, then we invested in a few snow blowers and started doing residential driveway clearing up until the point we got our first plow truck.
Did it look like this?
That was it.
You still know how to use that truck, right, Joe?
Yeah, it might be running somewhere.
No, that's awesome. I mean, when you think about the beginnings, obviously when you guys were like, hey, let's include snow into our mix, you were a little bit younger maybe than some folks that are on the call right now. but honestly, the principles are still there, right? I mean, you got to think through a lot of different things. It's not like you can reuse similar tools from the green season. You had to add a lot. What was the early winter seasons when you guys first started? Was it always residential? When did it move to commercial? That kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah, I got that truck there in the photo probably right around when I turned 16 or 17, and started dabbling in small commercial lots. Some of them were our lawn customers, and we also performed work as a subcontractor to a larger contractor who had a local parking lot. So that was kind of our first foray into plowing commercial properties.
And if we fast forward a little bit, we get to a picture like this one here. What's so significant about this photo, Joe?
Yeah, this kind of represents going all out into the commercial snow removal business, working directly with facility managers and building engineers to handle their snow removal needs. This one in particular was at a Class A office building. And you can see the grass is still green. There's, it looks like we're in fall there, and it kind of shows how we're planning for winter well before many other people start thinking about it.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, enough down the walk down memory lane. Here's a current photo, one that was taken, I think, just last year. I know there's a lot about this photo that you're proud about. I'll say that I'm proud to work for a company that the siblings, want to be with each other in that regard. They work well with each other. They started a business, that has now come to fruition in the way that Sauers is now. Before I kick it over to someone else from your team, I guess one last question I have for you is, if you're a contractor on this call right now listening and you want to start a snow business up, how would I go about it? What are some things that I need to be thinking through, given the circumstances, even outside of COVID and stuff like that? But like, if you were just in a normal year to start it up, what would you need to think through?
Yeah, obviously assess what equipment you already possess. Think about the types of job sites you want to work on. Really consider the types of clients you want to work for, whether that's directly with the client or with a company like us where we can provide some benefits. And just really think through everything. Take a look at some of the industry associations that offer a ton of great, valuable information. We didn't have any of that when we started, but we still capitalize on some of that information that's out there to this day. So there's a lot to learn about the industry. It's got a ton to offer. We're obviously partial to it. It's been very good to us, and there's a lot of opportunity for anyone to capitalize on if they choose to.
I know that you would also talk a little bit about our team if we had the time. I gave you specific questions to answer, but in this photo, there's 3 of you guys, right? You and your brother and your sister, but I know outside of this photo, there's a larger team at Sauers too, 8 or 9 more folks that are dedicated to the cause. And one of those people is our very own Jamie Zanzano. Jamie that works in the ops department. She is the director of service provider procurement, which is really a fancy way to say that you get to work with service providers all year long, trying to find great opportunities for partnership and learning from their companies and vice versa. Jamie, I have a couple questions for you, but maybe I'll give you a shot to introduce yourself and also talk a little bit about what your day-to-day looks like at Sauers.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me on, Jason. I'm really glad to be here. My day-to-day is just talking really to contractors. My main job is just like clients focus, just like sales focuses on clients, I focus my day-to-day on service providers and getting the right people in for the right job, hearing what their needs are, and making sure that everybody has a successful and happy winter.
That's awesome. I work with you on a day-to-day basis, and I know how dedicated you are to this. So I'm excited to ask you just a couple quick questions. First one I have actually kind of goes back to those earlier pictures. We're watching Joe with the one truck and the straight blade and thinking about equipment, I mean, there is a lot of equipment and machinery involved in the snow management process. I wonder though, if there's not really kind of like a misconception that to start out in the business, I have to have skid steers and triaxles and, you know, dozers and things like that. I mean, based on what you've seen in the service providers we work for and the properties we're looking at, I mean, what would you have to say into that part of that conversation about what's necessary and required these days to get started?
I mean, it's a misconception that I hear all the time. I only have one or I'll talk to someone, they'll be like, yeah, but I only have one or two plow truck. It's like, that's all you need sometimes, depending on the site. That's why I love the pictures of Joe in the early beginning. You know, he started with one plow truck and look at where he is now. He decided he wanted to be in snow and the company grew from there. So it really depends on the sites that you service. Sauers has a great portfolio of different sites. Some you do need equipment on. Others you just need a plow truck or two.
One of the cool things about working with service providers is, you know, you get a kind of a window into their strengths and their assets, which is like resiliency, self-starting, self-motivating group of people. I mean, they've literally pulled these businesses up sometimes from nothing to create something pretty amazing. Partnering on things though sometimes is, you know, again, another misconception, like partnering with somebody to do your snow management, you know, in that regard. Why would anybody on this call say, you know what I need in this winter? I need to partner with somebody for my snow work. What is the benefit, I guess, is partnering with us?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I feel like I could say so many things. I know you just pulled up, these are our 6 distinctives up here on the slide. But before I get into a little bit about this, the first thought that comes to my mind is you have your own company that you're thinking about, whether it's landscaping, hardscaping, paving, and you're busy in the day-to-day getting contracts for that, making sure the crews are out there, quality checking your work, handling everything on the back end. And you don't have to worry about any of that when you partner with Sauers or with another company with like-minded values, because that's why we're Snow 365. We make sure we take care of all of that stuff so that there is no worry for your winter. Our scopes of work are extremely detailed. We make sure that we have ironed everything out with the client to know exactly what they want. And we make sure that you understand exactly the same thing. So you're not walking on a site with 2 inches of snow and you have no idea where the speed bumps are. We really make sure that you're set up for success that way. We have dedicated support. You'll have one point of contact, which is like my favorite thing, because I can't stand calling somewhere and you get somebody different all the time. It's one point of contact, been on your site, I'm driving around in the snow, and they're not there to really manage you. They're there for additional support if you ever need it. So like, let's say something goes wrong or you have a quick question, you know, you don't have to worry about anything. We have the answers for you.
Awesome.
Educated staff, route density. I can't go through them all because I know we're on a time limit, but I mean, I would definitely love to get into all of these.
I got you on the strict time budget for this, so I apologize. And I know you could go on this forever. These 6 distinctives and other reasons, you know, obviously are great reasons to join. How about our location? I mean, you know, like unlike some companies, we don't really actually go very far away from home, so to speak, from Warminster. What is our service area for someone that might be looking to partner with us?
Yeah, so our headquarters is in Warminster, PA, and we go about an hour, maybe a little more in every direction. So that's Southeast PA, Central and Southern Jersey, and Northern Delaware. So if you are in that area, it is your lucky day because you're in the service area, and we'd love to speak to you about it.
And how do we get to speak to you, Jamie, about these kind of great things?
You could always visit our website and fill out the form, sauersinc.com/snowpro. But my email, my phone number is up here too. If you want to shoot me a quick email, if you want to call me, send me a text, even if you want to throw your information up in this chat, and I'll get in touch with you. Whatever way works to just get the conversation started. And I am just going to say one quick thing, because there is another misconception. Yeah. It's like it's a really easy process to get started with Sauers. It's like a 5-10 minute phone call, and you just tell me what you're looking for and what your needs are, and then I do the work behind the scenes, and then we take it from there.
Cool. Great. We are actually, if you can believe it or not, at 15 minutes. But so if anybody needs to jump off now, I would understand that. We have a question here in the Q&A panel that I thought would be good to direct towards you, Joe, if that's okay. John asks, what do you guys run for equipment and how many machines? We get asked that a lot.
Yeah, we have a fleet of Ford F-250, F-350 pickup trucks with plows and spreaders. We use a lot of Western plows, a lot of electric salt dog spreaders, various brands of loaders, some JCBs. So that's all equipment that our supervisory staff and management team uses. And yeah, if you ever want to talk equipment, feel free to reach out and we're always happy to talk.
And then one last question and I'll let you guys go. Joe, if there were two things that you would say, do this, if you haven't started a snow biz before and you're looking to launch one in the near future, what are two takeaways that we could grab and put in our back pocket as we head out the door now?
Sure. If someone was looking to get into snow for their first time this season, I would just give a little consideration to what equipment you have, what's a realistic capacity, and try to find sites and clients that are going to be the type of work you want to do. It's hard work, it's challenging work. No need to make it more difficult than it is. You want to work for good customers that are going to pay you, and appreciate the hard work that goes into it. And separately, I would check the paperwork, contracts, insurance, all that good stuff. Make sure you have all your ducks in a row before jumping in with both feet.
And if you're struggling with trying to find answers or those connections to properties, that's where Jamie comes into play, right? Like calling her and seeing what's on the docket there is helpful. This other question just came in, Joe, and it's actually quite relevant. So rather than close this off, I might extend it just by giving you one more. John says, are you worried at all about the commercial snow market kind of taking into effect the COVID-19, the pandemic, stuff that we're seeing? I mean, are we looking into a crystal ball right now, obviously, but are you worried at all?
It's hard to ignore the effects of COVID. However, we've been reaching out, surveying our clients, trying to keep a pulse on what their needs are going to be for this upcoming season. So far, we're not seeing many red flags that we're overly concerned about. One of the benefits of working with us is the majority of our clients are distribution type facilities, which actually have seen an increase in business since COVID. We don't service a lot of restaurants or small retail strip centers that occupancy levels may be down and they may be reducing scope of work and service levels. So we're cautiously optimistic. It seems like things are going to be okay, but we're keeping a close eye on it.
It's the best we can do, right? I mean, we also have our own worry to take out of winter, but the way we come around it with processes and thinking ahead and plans and preparations, is always going to help out in that regard. Joe, Jamie, thank you so much for being here today. This was great. I mean, we scratched the tip of the iceberg, right, to see what's going on. But obviously, I would encourage any of you, if you have more questions, to reach out to Jamie directly. Her information is there on the screen. Also, this has been recorded. So when you're going to get a follow-up email, there'll be a link there for the recording itself. If you know anybody else that's out there that would benefit from this conversation, please feel free to forward that on to them. We would love nothing more than that. So, okay, we'll let you get back to the last 10 minutes of your lunch if you're on your break. Thanks so much for being here today. Thanks for all you're doing out there. And obviously stay safe so that you can benefit both your families and your company. So thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you next time for the next conversation with us. Bye-bye.